What is a supply chain? A supply chain is a global network used to deliver products and services, from raw materials to end customers, through an engineered flow of information, physical distribution, and cash. Basic supply chain for a product. The below figure illustrates a very basic supply chain with three entities: a producer with one supplier and one customer. Four basic flows that connect the supply chain entities together are as follows. Flow of physical materials and services from suppliers to the end customer. Flow of cash from the customer to the raw materials supplier. Flow of information back and forth along the chain. And reverse flow of product returned. A basic supply chain in this figure is made up of these entities. Seller is a supplier who provides goods and services, or a person or organization with whom the buyer does business. Their generic term in marketplace is seller. Supplier provides materials, energy, services, or components for a product or service, such as plastic, fabric, electric wiring, or aircraft. A producer is the one who receives components from the seller to produce a finished good or service, such as shirts from fabric, crockery from plastic, power from electric wiring, or provides transportation through aircraft. The customer is the one who receives the finished product. That is the one who wears those shirts, uses the crockery, turns on the lights, or flies in an aeroplane. Supply chain example. Consider a supply chain model of a bakery who sells a variety of cakes, and this baker is one end of a supply chain. In this case, a supplier is a wholesale food distributor that provides ingredients such as flour, cream, and sugar. The bakery is the producer who turns those ingredients into a variety of cakes. The bakery is operated by an owner who is the retailer and who sells these cakes to the customer. Supply chain in manufacturing. Consider a complex manufacturing supply chain model that appears in corporate supply chains. In this model, you will notice the second tier of suppliers and more distribution centers and customers. These suppliers supply materials as well as services. You put the manufacturing at the center and suppliers of components to the immediate left. The Tier 1 suppliers have their own suppliers in Tier 2. For example, Tier 1 supplier might be a wholesale food distributor that purchases flour from its own supplier. This supply chain for flour starts from farmer's wheat field, which is supplied to the food distributor, processed in a plant, shipped to wholesalers, and distributed to the stores. No matter how far you travel toward the left, you will never run out of new tiers of suppliers. Primary product flows from left to right, and primary cash flows from right to left. Supply chain in services. Initially, the supply chain model was developed for manufacturing, but service industry has supply chains too. A few examples of services industries are electricity provider, legal advisor, real estate, construction, software house, and even federal government. In its broadest sense, service industries include all organizations except farming, mining, and manufacturing. Below exhibit illustrates the supply chain of an electric utility. It receives products, services, and supplies, and dispenses its services to home customers, commercial customers, and to other utilities. Firms generally